The Golden State Warriors, for much of my life at this point, as a 20-year-old man, have been a borderline dynasty-level team. They have been one of the most dominant teams in the entire NBA, basically since I've been seriously watching basketball. Now, yes, obviously I watched basketball before, but since I really became a fan, the Warriors have basically always been one of the best teams in the NBA. And for a while there, they were by far the best team and were a legitimate dynasty of a team, which not many times in NBA history has a team like the Warriors ever existed. But unfortunately for them, all things must come to an end. Even Rome fell apart eventually, and that looks like exactly what's happening to the Golden State Warriors. It looks like very big change is about to happen, and unless Draymond Green comes back and saves this team and just is the life reserve that this team needed, and barring any ginormous trade for a superstar or something, the Golden State Warriors need a change, and if they don't make a big change in a big way very soon, they could legitimately be out of time, and this could be the end of the Golden State Warrior dynasty as we know it, and no telling if that time has already passed. The window could be closed already, but there's still at least a debate of whether they can salvage this thing and what they need to do to salvage it. But I'm going to be getting into mainly in this video a few reasons why I think that have contributed to the Warriors' downfall and what has really hurt them going forward, and then also maybe even some things that they can change going forward to try to help them improve going forward, and maybe try to keep this window open as long as humanly possible, even though they've already squeezed about every ounce that they possibly could out of this udder that they call the Golden State Warriors and their big three. Okay, but I'm gonna be getting to all that in this video, so if you do find it interesting and you do want to watch the video all the way through, please do, and hit the like button, subscribe, and if you do like the video at any point. Without further ado, without rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so my first and really my biggest reason is the fact that they just don't like each other, okay? If you read anything about any coach, if you hear an interview about any coach, what's one of the most important things to have a championship winning and a overall good team? Their biggest thing is that the team likes each other and that there is high chemistry. And well, the Warriors for a while had great chemistry because their big three and even Looney at this point played together for years and years and years, and they were just a very, very tight-knit, very, very close team, and their chemistry was through the roof, unbelievable. But things have really went very quickly downhill and have just fallen off of a cliff as it's ever since really Draymond punched Jordan Poole in the face, the whole pool party thing was done. And they went through a whole year with two teammates who literally fought each other in a practice and legitimately did not like each other. And they went through that whole year, and it really hurt them because Jordan Poole's numbers were all down. I'm sure the chemistry was so awkward the whole entire year. So then they traded Jordan Poole away. And now they find themselves in the situation they're currently in, where the chemistry really isn't even much better, because, I mean, you have guys like Steve Kerr, who, I mean, he is basically going on a tangent every single night about anything but the game. Like, he went on a tangent about the Bulls crowd booing Jerry Krause's mom, or wife. He went on a tangent about many other things. He went on a tangent about Draymond Green, kind of even throwing him under the bus a little bit when he was asked about that whole situation. So that is probably a big negative. And even Draymond Green, you can see that the whole situation has really affected him, as so many people had an opinion on him. A lot of people saying he needed help, and then Shaq said no, that's just who he is, he doesn't need any help. Draymond Green even said he was thinking about retiring until Adam Silver really told him not to. And anytime a player is so upset that he is thinking about retirement, that could very much be beyond the point of return, and I would not be surprised, even if Draymond Green comes back, that he will never be the same Draymond that we once known, or he maybe want to leave the Warriors after this season. A lot of things could happen, and I think that chemistry is probably messed up. It's about every night now you see Curry having to drop 50 points or this team is not going to win, and at 36 years old, Steph Curry just simply cannot do it by himself anymore. That's just a fact. He's 36, and most people, pretty much every player ever is not LeBron, okay? Most players cannot continue this extremely high level play. Now, yes, Curry is still an elite player, don't get me wrong, but he is no longer the guy that's going to drop 50 every single night, no matter what, and you're just not going to stop him. So he's even struggling. Then you have like even role players like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody have both said they are not happy with the roles that they're currently playing. And when the cum bucket and Moses Moody are complaining about their playing time and their role with the team, you know the chemistry has got to be bad. Klay Thompson's no longer the player he used to be. Andrew Wiggins got benched. Like, I'm sure the chemistry and the morale of this team is just at an all-time low, okay? Like, they can't be good for these guys, and we have really seen that affect them. They don't look happy playing together. They come out with very low energy. They went on a back-to-back streak of getting blown out by the Toronto Raptors and the New Orleans Pelicans, and they just really didn't come out alive at all in either one of those games, despite having Curry and Klay both, like, their whole team playing besides Draymond because he was coming back from his suspension. And they just came out lethargic, not really caring, and that's not something you really see from the Warriors, at least from the past Warriors teams. And it is really looking very, very gloomy with the current core they have. And the only way to really change it is either A, winning, which might not be possible at this point with this core, or B, blowing it all up and hoping to God someone will give you a star for them, or at least a wild card star for some of these players, and try to improve your team that way. And that is very, very, very much a huge if that would even work either. And then another reason why I think the Warriors have really struggled recently is because, I mean, they're just aging. Like, Father Time catches up with everyone, and, well, damn it, it looks like that is exactly what's happening to him. Let's start off with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is 33 years old. He is out of his prime at this point, and he's either a little bit under his peak from his injury, or he is just on the decline. And in my opinion, he's on the decline right now. And he's just not what he used to be. He used to be a very good defender, a very, very good defender. And he used to be literally the second best shooter in the league behind Curry. And he's, although still a great three-point shooter, he's not what he used to be. He's not as dominant on the defensive end or the offensive end as he once was. And yes, you could say that's due to his injuries, but he's also due because he's getting older and the injuries kind of combining, and it really just isn't looking good for him. And his game is only going to keep on falling off even a little bit more. And as he gets less athletic with age, less fast, less speed, he's going to even get worse on defense, and he's going to become less and less of effective as a player than he already even is right now. Then you have Curry, who's even older than him at 35 years old, who, although, like I said, still an elite player. Curry's still one of the best point guards in the league right now, and he would be a great player for any team in the NBA. Obviously, like, he could be a best player on a championship contending team still. But even him is showing a little bit of regression, as most 35-year-olds would, as he is right now shooting, his field goal percentage has fallen to, I think, like 40%, which, although isn't bad for a point guard, it's no longer the mid to high 40s it once was. And then even his three-point percentage is right now the second lowest of his career he's ever shot in a season that he's played more than 5 games. So, I mean, Curry, although still dominant, still an elite player, even his numbers are starting to fall down a little bit. And yes, it starts with a little drops and a little bit of regression here and there, but over time that's going to add up, and he's even going to become less and less of an effective a player as his attributes go down. And overall, Curry, once he starts going down, that's the head of this whole thing. He's the heart of this team. Once he starts regressing, this entire team is going to blow up in smithereens. And then the last guy in this core is Draymond Green, who is also 33 years old. I think he was in Klay Thompson's draft class, if I'm not mistaken. And Draymond Green, although still an impactful, good defender, same with Klay, he's just not the same guy he used to be. Yes, he still impacts your team in a positive way. Yes, if you can get past all the emotional chemistry things, he's still a net positive player on the defensive side, rebounding, and even his three-point shot has improved this year. But let's be honest, he's no longer the elite generational defender he once was, and he's just not even as good as he used to be. And with all three of the big three regressing, they really needed to step up from the role players. And well, that leads us into the third reason to why they're not as effective as they once were, which is the fact that their roster depth has just fallen off of a cliff at this point. Like, when they were in 2015 and winning their first finals as a team together, look what their bench was. They had Sean Livingston, Barbosa, Andre Iguodala, David Lee, and Maurice Spates. All of these players were extremely, extremely good veteran role players. Sean Livingston was one of the better point guards off anyone's bench. Barbosa was a very solid role player his whole career. Andre Iguodala was one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and I think he won the Finals MVP that year, and if not that year, just a few more years down the line, he's that level of player. David Lee was a floor spacing guy that could shoot very good, and Maurice Spates was just a do-it-all, rebound, normal type big, but all of them were extremely, extremely solid at what they do. And they're also very good veteran level players you could rely on, and keep that veteran thing in mind, because now look at this year's bench. They have a bench unit when fully healthy, and we're going off the fact that they will probably have a starting lineup of something like Curry, Klay, Wiggins, Looney, Green when they're fully healthy. When that is their starting lineup, their bench is Brandon Podziemski, who is a rookie, and although I am high on Podziemski and think he will be a good player in the future, and he is a solid player even right now, there's only so much you can rely on Brandon Podziemski. Like, he is a rookie scorer, and if you're trying to win championships like you are with the Golden State Warriors, because they're definitely still trying to contend with this core that they have, let's be honest, Brandon Podziemski is only going to be so impactful in the big playoff moments as a rookie scorer, and you can only rely on him so much. And then their second guy is Moses Moody, and I mean, he's Moses Moody. He is what he is. He's a decent three-point shooter. He's never going to be a great defender. He's an okay scorer. He can get hot sometimes, but I mean, that's about the best you're going to get out of him. And then you have Gary Payton III, who although is injured right now, and I think he's getting evaluated in a few weeks, so he still even has a little bit of wait till he can even play for them. Gary Payton III is a player you like to have because he's been around the NBA for a while. I think he was on the championship winning team as well. He can play very good defense, and he is one of the role players you want to have off your bench. But Gary Payton III is very limited on the offensive side and isn't a perfect role player, but he is a guy that you want to have off their bench. So I will give him that is a good one. And then you have the cum bucket or Jonathan Kuminga, who just isn't that great of a player. Now, yes, Kuminga has been having probably his best season from a average wise since he's joined the NBA, but he still can't shoot the three worth of shit. I think he's like 31% from three. Like, it's not a good 3-point percentage. He doesn't really fit with this team basically at all with how he plays. He could be so much better on the defensive end, yet he's not because he just, I guess, hasn't bought into it or he's upset with his role or whatever. He can't really create his own shot. I mean, if he wasn't playing with some of the best shooters of all time and people just didn't care about him, I think he would struggle a lot more. Like, if he was the second or even third option on a team, I don't think he would score more than 15 points, and it would probably be an inefficient 15 points because he can't shoot at mid-range at all. He doesn't have the best three-point shot. His handle could be better, and I just don't think overall he's going to be that great of a player, and I don't think Kuminga really fits with them. And then you have Trayce Jackson-Davis. Now, Trayce Jackson-Davis, once again, a good player that I think is going to be very solid for them for a long time to come. And I think they got to steal with him with the last pick in the draft. You can once again only rely on a rookie so much when you're trying to win high-level playoff games. And then lastly, Dario Saric. Now, Dario Saric is a guy that I like to see them have. A 29-year-old vet who's going to space the floor, fits what they want a big off their bench to do, and really fits their role in the mold that they like to have. The only problem is, it's Dario Saric. Like, he's not going to move mountains for you, okay? Like, he's a okay guy who is a very good depth piece, and I like him. But when you put in the fact, if you compare the two benches together from the 2015 bench to this year's bench, it's not even comparable. You have inexperienced rookies or guys that just aren't that good, or even guys that are experienced like Moody and Kuminga. Both of them aren't vets. Like, they're still fairly young players, or by every means of the word. Even Gary Payton III isn't a vet. Like, he's older, but he's not a super old experienced vet. So even those guys don't have too much experience. And with how inexperienced their bench is, with how young it is, and with just how untalented it is outside of like Podziemski and arguably Trayce Jackson-Davis, and I guess you could argue Kuminga if you like him, I don't, then really look into it and see how limited it is. How does this team plan on winning high-level playoff games with this bench? I don't think it's possible, and I think that's a huge reason to why they've been struggling, because their depth has just fallen off of a cliff compared to once they were, because their motto used to be strength in numbers, and there's a very good reason, as you can see, why that is no longer their motto, okay? So I just think overall, with the Warriors having bad depth, their core aging crazily, and them just not liking each other that much, and their chemistry being in ruins, I think those are all huge contributing factors to why the Golden State Warriors have struggled as much as they have this year, and I think they're going to contribute to the ultimate downfall of this great dynasty that we once got to watch in the past. But of course, guys, that's my first video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Golden State Warriors need to blow it up? What do you think they should do? Or do you think they can win more? I really want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you have any point, hit the like button and subscribe button. It means the absolute word to me. And I hope you have a blessed day. Because I had a blessed day, so you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you in the next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.